Blog Talk Radio.
Thank you very much. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, listening to Baltimore's Talking Live. I'm your host, Dr. Q. Co-host is Aaron Green. Say hello, Green.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good night to all. Wild card, no. It's Conspiracy Theory Thursday. Let's get things started.
Conspiracy Theory Thursday, yep. Now, we do apologize yesterday if those of you who got the static or just heard music playing, there was technical difficulty on the control side, not my side, because I'm on the transmission side. So the way it works with internet radio, you have the hosting, which is the carrier, which is, of course, BTR in this case, which always dropping the ball. I think they just got too much on their plate and just can't keep up with everybody. That's just me. I don't know. Every time you give them a complaint, they tell you, oh, we're working on it. But they always want to put the foot in your ass if you're a day late on your payment. Oh, the payment was due yesterday. We're going to suspend your services, which means they don't host. But you can still do the show. It just won't get hosted. It'll stay inside of your cloud, so to speak. And you have to manually, that's Dre's area, I don't know anything about that part, manually take that cloud and upload it one by one to all the different outlets, and it won't be live, it'll be pre-recorded. Yeah, we used to do that during the daylight when we were season 1. We used to have an interview with somebody that might have been 9, 10 o'clock that morning. And then we would have him on the hot seat. And that was complicated because sometimes the co-host we have is like a real dum-dum and can't comprehend a stopwatch or a timer. You have to put in the recording, stops and starts for where the break would go. So a lot of times they would just have a straight interview, uninterrupted, no break, and we would have to find a place that there's a gap between questions, interrupted, and then put a voiceover. We'll be right back after this break, and then come back and pick up the recording. It was just yuck. So they would have me do it, and I'd say, we want to take a quick break right after this. And I just pretty much pause for 15 seconds, give them plenty of time to find the gap commercial, 1 minute, 2 minutes, whatever it was at the time. I think it was back then, 45 seconds. And then after I count for 15 seconds, I'd say, we're back with so-and-so, but to the person interviewing, it was just a matter of seconds. And to the radio show, it seemed as if we were actually live in the studio, taking the break, talking to the person. That's how it's supposed to be. People can't see you. So you have to give them a mental picture when you communicate. And I try to train the co-host to have that high energy. Because if you're on the air yawning and sneezing and falling asleep, people don't want to listen. They're going to say, oh, well, if you boys talking about the shit, why should I listen? You know, so you have to give that in. And sometimes it's a long-ass day. I'm a black man trying to do 20 white people's things. And I'm an old man. I ain't as young as I used to be. So sometimes the bones get up in there. And what really tires me out is when I have to do the show and I got to help out Dre. Well, not that Dre is a problem. Dre is just one person. To effectively do what the people want us to do, we need 4 people. Now, when we had the 3 co-hosts at one time, the show was a lot. Everybody had a part. Everybody participated. Took a lot of weight off everybody's plate so they could hurry up and go to the next segment without having to say, wait a minute, and load it up. It was right there. Boom. We already knew what you wanted to do. We took direction. We try to send text to each other to know what the direction was. And then the co-host don't feel like doing the horoscope. Another co-host, I'm too busy with my gayness. So it's whatever. I don't know if that's what he said, but that's pretty much what was going on. But it's all good. So now, season 3, they have an outline of exactly what they need, exactly what they want, what they're aiming for. We want to get them 10,000 listeners. We're ramping up the listener count pretty quickly. I thought we would sustain where we left off, but we did not. We started the first night, it was 44, and then it started to rise. I think yesterday I didn't get a count because it was a hosting problem. So the 3 parts I was talking about earlier before I got stuck on my tangent, you have the transmitting, the hosting, and the publishing. We self-publish. They do the hosting, and we do the transmission. So if anybody has a right to the show, it is me. Because I own the name as a LLC. I don't own the functionality. I don't own the operation. I don't own the bank accounts. I don't own the debts. I own the name. So if you fire me or if I die, you have to change the name to something else. And I think that's what every host should do in business. That's why most of the people name the shows after themselves, because it can't be, you can't have Stan Whitmore hosting the Oprah Winfrey Show because you're not Oprah. Look at the Ellen DeGeneres show. She got a guest host hosting her show. That woman can't be Ellen DeGeneres. That's why you name it after yourself, to have that intellectual property rights. Something you can take with you. But at the same time, they can shut down the production, and they can shut down the publishing. Or They can shut down production and shut down the hosting, which is pretty much what they did to Arsenio Hall. And I get a lot of people say, "Oh, you make it look so easy." It's not easy. But look at how many television talk show hosts have not even made it past first season. So I'm thankful that we've made season 3. Me personally, I said we would make it to season 1.5. And I also said if we make it to season 2, we'll have 1,000 listeners. And we should be picked up for season 3. Well, it didn't pan out. So season 3, we'll give it a shot, see how far we get to 1,000. I'm sorry, I keep saying 1,000. 10,000 listeners. We hit 1,000 after like 4 or 5 months of being on the air. That was no big deal. I mean, it was a big deal, a big accomplishment. Compared to the goal, we were only 10% there. Yesterday, let me pull up what had happened yesterday. Because I had my notes all set. Every time I got a good something set, somebody always come and shit it up. Yep, confidential confessions. And a joke in the story today. Yeah, I had a good one. So I'll go ahead and give you the joke that I was going to tell you yesterday. It was the mechanic that fixes cars. You probably heard it already, but I'm going to tell it again. Tell it my way. It was this mechanic that old country bumpkin always had this little straw in his mouth. He used to fix cars. And everybody would say, go down there and see the mechanic down there, he'll fix you up. But nobody would never say who the mechanic was. So one day, a stranger from out of town said, they told me to see the mechanic about fixing my car. Sure. Just leave it here. Get it, and we keys, and I take a look at it. Let you know what it is. He said, by the way, what's your name? He said, oh, well, you can just call me Bominicious, because everybody calls me Bominicious. He said, say it one more time. He said, just call me Bominicious, because everybody calls me Bominicious. He said, Bominicious? He said, yeah, everybody calls me Bominicious. I said, okay. So, the guy did some still work. He said, wow. That's great, Bominicious. Come on, let everybody know, come down here. And the mechanic looked at him strange, but he didn't say anything, walked away. Told another stranger, hey, if you need your car work done, I got the mechanic in town, fix my car, his name was Bominicious. He said, Bominicious? He said, yeah. You sure that's his name? He said, yeah, Bominicious. So, he went down there looking for the mechanic, came back an hour later. Young man, you sent me to find the mechanic. I asked for the mechanic. Nobody knew anybody by that name. He said, well, a heavyset guy? He said, yeah. Black guy? Yeah. Had a straw in his mouth? He said, yeah. That's the guy. He didn't seem to know what I was talking about. I'm going to go down there with you. Went down there with the mechanic. Come here with the stranger, talk to the mechanic. He said, Bominicious. Guy didn't answer. Kept on walking like he didn't come. Another mechanic came by. He said, who you calling? I called a mechanic over there, Bominicious. That guy's name is CJ. He said, oh, his name's CJ? He said, yeah, everybody call him by his initials. So he was saying, call me by my initials. So he was so country, so he said, call me by my initials. That's the joke of the week.
I get it, by my initials. By my initials. That's funny.